Thanks to Crocs and T-Pain, I know today, on the 24th of October, that boots with the fur will be a thing. It will bring back so many memories, thoughts, and memes, and just bad ideas. That it is what's going on. On top of that, and bad ideas, also on this day, I also learned that Steve Bannon says there is a plan for Donald Trump to be president again in 2028, despite the Constitution when its two terms limits. This was given in an interview highlighted by Yahoo News and various other outlets, but once I found out about it, I was basically at a why does it even matter anymore? Bannon is insisting that Trump will secure a third term and hints at unspecified alternatives. He also made similar claims before, but when you start saying the quiet parts out loud, your conspiracy theories and crazy talk start sounding more and more like something you actually plan on doing. The problem is there's no details, which if you're a sinister villain, you got to sort of put those things out in the process. That's how these things work. A monologue while you're petting a Siamese cat and talking about everything that's going to happen before Scooby-Doo comes and ruins the plan. These comments, however, are reviving the debate on whether any path exists for a third term under the current law. What the 22nd Amendment actually says is that no person can be elected president more than twice. Legal scholars across the spectrum are saying there's loopholes to make this work, but it's not credible that the courts will reject any in-runs around the amendment. Past fact checks are responding to similar claims reached by the same conclusion. It comes down to the constitutional barrier is clear. 2 terms elected as president. It's kind of hard to not misinterpret that. People who support a third Trump term, such as Bannon and others, say allies frame this as the will of the people because the folks want this. The plurality of the people who show up to vote, more than 51% of those people want it, which is not a majority of the people. It's a plurality of the voters. And multiple strategies could exist to make this happen somehow. Oh, like storming the Capitol when they're about to certify election with fake electors and basically just lying about it. That was an option. Didn't quite work. Now, the people who are listed as experts in the field, constitutional lawyers, people who study these things, call strategies implausible and, most importantly, unlawful, noting that ideas like vice presidential succession to bypass the limit would also certainly fail in the court. That's saying, oh, J.D. Vance would basically take over at the last minute and then just give it back to Trump because it's an idea. Media coverage underscores the gap between political rhetoric and legal reality because in reality, the logistics just don't make any sense. Third term talk rests on civil norms and could actually confuse voters about what's legally possible because we've never done it before, because we've been told we can't do it, so we've never done it before. Yet someone's going to try it because he tries everything. It also foreshadows messaging battles heading into the 2028 election on who can actually be in charge of things, where attempts to normalize a third term may actually make it something that people will go for. You know what? I did okay under Trump the first time and really bad under him the second time, but I'm going to blame Biden for that because there's a split. Maybe Trump can turn it around in a third term. Scholars warn that repeatedly claiming that a path exists basically puts in your head that it's there, especially with no specifics, may erode trust in clear constitutional rules that it doesn't exist. Because it doesn't. Questions remain on how this thing would work online, how this thing is actually work through. Is there any lawful mechanism? Is it just rhetoric? The answer to those questions are all essentially the same. It should not happen. Could it happen? You force it long enough, maybe it could, but the big thing is it was not the intention, pretty heavy attention, after one of them Roosevelts went 3 times and we went a generation with the same guy to make sure that wouldn't happen again. A split in terms, whatever. Trump was elected twice, 2 separate times, even though it was a split in terms. So going for a third run doesn't make any sense. Although there's no details to the plan, Bannon says they've got options. They're going to do something to make it happen. And if they do, it's going to be a very, very scary world.